Welcome to the First 40 Sports Show with the squad, Blackthorn, Icewater, and Puma. And the hot topic we're going to start off with today is the NCAA settlement. Going to go with Blackthorn first. What's up with this settlement, man? Because I think it's kind of like, I know they're paying the former players. I'm confused on how they're going to deal with the future players with the NILs and all this other stuff. Are they going to sign contracts? Who's going to get paid? Is it just the Power Five? I'm confused, bro. So help me out.
Well, one thing I love about you, man, you always remind me of Public Enemy. You can't trust them. That's where you always start from, right there. You can't trust them. Just can't trust them. And I hear you, man. I think on the surface, it's a great thing. We've been pounding the surface for this for quite some time on this show, where that NCAA, these schools been getting away with not paying these amateur athletes what they're worth. So to me, this changed that. And I know you got to go back. There's got to be some parameters, things are set. But it's like really, in so many words, the financial chickens have come on the roofs for NCAA in these schools, man. They've been taking advantage of these kids for a long period of time, not paying them. And now you got the NIL deals, you got all this going on because there's so much money that's been made. And I said to you a little while ago, man, think about this years ago. Patrick Ewing played at Georgetown, 40 some odd years ago? And I remember one year back then, they estimated that him alone brought $14 million to Georgetown. Just in one year. So you think about what these kids, these two schools are making. And now I look at UConn up here. They just won the tournament back to back. And it was so funny because when UConn won, it came out right off that night, the last time they won a few months ago, that there was considering his name got popped up for Kentucky. I'm going to tell you how deep it is here in Connecticut. The governor came out and said, we will pay and do whatever we got to do to keep the basketball coach here at UConn. That's how deep it is, bro. So there's a lot of pockets getting filled up off sports. It's high time that these players, man, past players, current, future players, get paid.
I'm confused on how this is going to all play out because is this the end of college sports as we know it? I know the NCAA were kind of treading water with the NIL deals, things of that sort. Did they kind of give themselves an extension, or are they trying to gum up the works so that you have to come back to them and they restructure this whole thing on how college athletes are paid?
Well, first of all, like we said, we like to see the movement. We like to see uh, the factor that these athletes are going to be paid. What's going to happen, and we said this before, nothing's perfect. And I mentioned to you before, some people like they want it all. You can't have it all. So, like I said before, and it's coming to grips now that you think about. So let's look at football, for instance. Football teams usually, on average, probably carry like 120 players, right? Care about 120 players, and then only 85 are on scholarships, right? And then what you're going to see now is with this NIL, people want to get their money, you're going to drop that number to, instead of the 120, you're going to drop it to 100, right? Which means it's going to be less scholarships. So there's only going to be so much room for some people, which means some people are going to be cut or removed. And see, we want to make it even where everybody comes into college football and everybody plays basketball, everybody gets the same amount of money. No, sir. No, sir. I don't know why y'all keep thinking that everybody gonna cool by y'all. I score 40 points. I don't get the lion's share of that. I'm the attraction. That's business. We want to make the offensive lineman. And this is real. This is an honest and true story. I have a cousin that was a Division I athlete, and he was a Division I. He was going to be a Division I quarterback, but he got hurt his first year, so he couldn't go on because he was hurt too bad. But when he was in school the first year, he mentioned to me if he could have done this, he would want to take his money and share with the offensive line. I said, well, you can do that, but the school ain't doing that. The school would not do that. They are going to always reward the people that are making the most money or the more the stars. It's just how it is. I know we want to make it all when they put to work just like everybody else as a team overall. Okay, but the end of the day, Caitlin Clark. Anyway, I'm just saying those that are the ones that make the money, the ones that bring the attraction, they get the most. So what you want? We went from zero, nobody getting anything unless it was under the table. We had to hide it, all this other stuff. Or now we got something, so let it build on it. Let them build on it. at least it's something. Something is better than nothing.
Yeah, I'm just interested on how this is going to play out. Who's going to get paid the $2 billion, the past players? It's just going to be real interesting in the next few weeks or months how this is going to all lay out. And like I said, I don't trust it. Black is right. I'm the PE dude on this panel. I just don't trust the NCAA after all these years saying, you know what? Yeah, let's give money out, and that they don't have a plan behind this or agenda behind this and gumming up the works with college athletics. Black, you got any more on this?
Yeah, I'm going to say also, I kind of would have the tempt to believe the NCAA didn't come to this thought on their own, bro.
Right.
And there might have been some lawsuits, but I think Congress has been breathing down the back of their necks for change to change. And I think that's what you're seeing, man. I think that's a lot of this is being kind of spearheaded, not by the NCAA, but there might have been some lawsuits, but it's just, again, man, it's a correction. It's a correction that's long overdue.
Yeah. I should get the last word on this.
Like you said, the NCAA is not in charge of this. They didn't come up with this. They have been fighting this for years, but they realize now that if they don't change their ways, they're going to be obsolete. The schools do not need the NCAA anymore. They really didn't need them before. It was just a way to govern how things were going amongst the schools. But now the schools can create their own entity, body that governs them. So the same way when you think about it and you think I'm playing, I'm serious, that think about it, that the NCAA has nothing to do with the national championship, college football championship. Nothing. They have there's nothing in it. There's no ties to them except for the fact that they represent the schools. They don't control that. So they're moving forward with that. The NCAA now is just trying to hold on very closely and tightly to say, how can we still remain a part of the movement? Because right now, again, if we're not careful, the NCAA can find itself being obsolete.
Yeah. We'll stay tuned to this. Ice, give me your first hot take.
Yeah, I know y'all think I'm beating a dead horse, but I got to keep rolling on it, baby. Anyway, the lovely Caitlin Clark. What I'm talking about, I want to throw this out here, but I find it interesting. They won their first game, right? But what we're finding out, if you pay attention, because I'm watching the games, because I got to be informed, because I don't want nobody to say, I'm coming for and blah, blah. I'm not coming for it. I'm explaining something to you. How the media works and what they're doing as the darlings scoring all these points. What you find out, she literally, when you watch her game now, is changing her game. It's almost the way that she's almost being forced to. So you watch it. When they played, they won their first game of the season, right? She almost more or less like a point guard. So when they played the Aces, she had when they played not the Aces, but they played the team that they beat, the Sparks. She had 11 points, 10 rebounds, and 8 assists, 4 of 14 from the field. They won that game. She comes back. The other game was yesterday. They got beat by 19 by the Aces. She had like 8, 10 points, but she's more of a distributor. Kelsey, I told you guys, Kelsey Mitchell, former Ohio State Buckeye, was almost the leading scorer for that team last year. Now all of a sudden, she's back in the flow. She's starting, she's scoring more points because as a team collectively, they are better off when Caitlin is taking the back seat until she learns the game. Doesn't mean she's gonna always be that way, but that's what it is. Your thoughts?
Black?
You know, it's interesting because what I've gathered from all this, man, is that people that don't know really a lot about sports or basketball, followers, basically are running amok with her. And when I say that, it's because they wanted to fire her coach. Because they wanted, and when I listened to the coach talk, of course she ignored it, but she said, this is what Caitlin needs to do. And she was coaching her up. She has to understand she has to come this way off the screen. She has to do X, Y, Z. So it's like she's learning the game. You got to give her a chance. And these dumb sports commentators don't understand that. All they want to see is a young lady that basically came to the game as Harold, just running and basically bollock and beat the hell out of WNBA. And it's not going to happen. It's a totally different league. They're serious about their sport. Even though you may not have been paying attention, when I say you, a lot of people, these commentators that want to run over now, Colin Cowherd, rest of y'all, really didn't give a damn about the WNBA, want to run now and act like you care about when you really don't. You just want to be almost popular. So take time and understand what's really going on here. If she is to be what she is to be, she'll get there. Maybe take off a couple of years. But no, she's got to pay her dues and got to do it just like everybody else that comes into that league. And like I said, she's learning. No, she may not have 20, 30 points a game like she did in college. It's not going to happen that way because she's playing with some other women that know the game. She's going to be coached up. No, it's not. That's not going to happen. And that's what I've noticed about a lot of this. People want her to run in and basically dominate. It's like a fairy tale. It really is. And that's what I was saying last week. A lot of it's not her fault. We look at her and we'll pin stuff on her, but a lot of it's not her fault. It's the dumbasses that are following her on social media. Some of the commentators, sports commentators, that are getting paid handsomely well, that don't know what the F they're talking about. Really, leave the woman should stop talking about it. Shut the hell up, Charles Barkley. And LeBron, go somewhere and decide what you want to do because we already know you're coming back. Shut up. That's not your sport. She has to learn. Give her a chance. But to me, that's what I've been seeing with all this.
This is what they wanted. They wanted the folks that, when she was in college, who start following women's college basketball, who never really watched basketball before or paid attention, or especially women's basketball. This is the crowd they wanted. So this is what you get. You get a lot of folks who don't know what they're talking about. You get a lot of folks who never really covered the game. Now they're looking at it and they're trying to judge it with the men's game. And you really can't do that. You can't do that. And so she's getting a lot of attention, unwarranted attention. She's getting a lot of hate from people. I'm not saying necessarily the women in the WNBA, but she has to go through that rookie process just like any other rookie. And she doesn't know the game like the women who have been playing all this time. So I think you're right about giving her time to kind of settle in and really kind of get acclimated to the WNBA. And that's going to take time. But a lot of people, we're in a society where we want everything now. We want the star to be the star now. We want a LeBron James kind of type figure to come in and just set ablaze the WNBA. We want, the Kobe Bryants. We want the players that the high profile players to come in and just be a star in one particular area and then come in and just instantly be a star in another area. And it doesn't work that way. Society wants it to work that way, but it just doesn't work that way. So I really haven't been paying a lot of attention to it because I know what the process is. She's going to bang her head. She's going to stub her toe. She's going to do a whole lot of things. It's going to get highlighted. And I'm wondering how it's going to take a toll on her personally and her psyche if she doesn't become that star that everybody or this new audience wants her to be. All the old heads know that this is part of the process. This is, she's going to have to learn the game. They're not winning a championship this year. They may not, she may not even finish the whole season. And I saw the tape that you said they want to fire the coach. For what? For what? Give the coach a better team to coach instead of just two premier players. And they're going up against a murderous row of WNBA teams. I mean, you're playing the Connecticut Sun, you're playing the Aces, you're playing all these teams who are just licking their chops, waiting to pounce. And so this is the crowd they wanted. So I expected this when she came out of college. Ice?
Yeah, like I said, it's not to put that brother down, but this is what the media built up as if she was gonna come in and just run rampant and score all these points. These women, as Diana Taurasi, lover or hater, came out and told you, nah, you ain't coming in here doing all that. And I think Kate Clark herself is starting to realize that, hey, maybe the coach, because she felt heat, is like, she needs to learn better. So when you turn over all the shots over to Caitlin Clark and she's struggling to get her shot off, she's taking 15 attempts. Other people, the most they're getting is 9 or 10. You're going to lose. So now the smart thing is let her, she can play point guard. She can do a little something, take less shots, get other people in line, take good shots. If your shot, you can't get your shot off, pass the damn ball and learn the game. That's what it is. That's a problem. You want to make, that's what I told one of my friends that talked about certain these younger players in the NBA as well. You want to crown them. You want to crown them before they done anything. You're great in college. We ain't crowning you because everybody was, they talk about Luka. My friend, Luka's a hell of a player. Friends talk about Luka's first team, he made the NBA finals, the NBA first team 5 of the 6 years. Great. He ain't won shit yet. So you say he's gonna be he's talking about GOAT conversation. I can't even say that. He played 6 years and now they're moving forward. Yeah, they're looking great, but it took another guy to help you show that he can really work together as a team. So you want to crown him because he scored a lot of points? I know a lot of guys that played in back when we watched games, cats like Randy Smith, Gervin, you know they was gonna drop 45 a night, but they couldn't win nothing. So do you elevate them in the GOAT category? You 30 at best, just because you good. That don't make you in the upper echelon with the greats. Because to me, the greats find how to affect other people, make them better, and they win or get close to damn near winning. Caitlin Clark has a long way to go. Great for the league, great what she's trying to do and whatever. But I think even with herself, she probably took a step back. If the coach did it, hopefully she did. If not, Caitlin Clark was like, look, I need to slow this down. I can't do what I did in Iowa. Iowa was, I was prancing. I think she's probably been humbled a little bit. Like I told you, your girl don't drop beat them by damn 40, dog. It was all about that plane ride and we catching the damn bus. Y'all don't think that still matters like in the schoolyard? It's like, get off this real quick. It's like the dude come to the park with all the matching Jordan gear, all the North Carolina stuff. You know his ass can't play. And he get on the court and your shoes is raggedy, you gonna light his ass up. That's what we do, baby. I gotta find a way to get you back. Caitlin Clark, welcome to the league. God bless you. I hope it work out for you. But you gotta walk through the fire, baby. You gotta earn your keep. This ain't Iowa. And I know you don't feel that way. And it's sad that they put you in this position. But when you take all the coin in, you gotta walk the aisle, baby. You gotta walk the runway. Cause they click, 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 click. So she ready for it. She gonna be all right. It's gonna take some time.
Black, in the immortal words of Dennis Green, if you want to crown him, crown their ass. Your hot take, man.
I'm starting to wonder, man, with MVP award aside for this past 4 years, I'll kind of set that aside. I need to know who the people have voted for Defensive Player of the Year. Because I'm looking at Rudy Gobert, and I'm saying to myself, ain't nowhere in the world, ain't no way. This man won it 4 consecutive, and if he did, it was truly deserving of this, then the NBA should just outlaw defense, don't play defense. Because who hasn't toasted this man? He's a liability. So my point is, I think it's time for the voters that they have voting for these I'm assuming they're sports writers. It's time to take it away from them, give it to coaches, maybe ex-players, let them make the decision. Because their decision making is horrible, man. Absolutely horrible. I'm gonna get you guys a penny on that.
Ice.
Well, we already know what some of the writers do. I think sometimes it's jealous or they always want to be like that guy, or the guy doesn't answer the questions like they want him to when they in the city. There's a lot of little nuances that these personal grievances that I think some of them have are hatred. They want to keep certain things in a certain kind of way. And so with that being said, I mean, what you gonna say? They love William Gobert and he came all the way he did. And for the majority of the year, he showed up. But then now we're seeing lately, like when they asked Luka get a perfect scenario. He gave the perfect situation. They go, Luka, what you had the defensive player of the year on you when you had that last shot, when you hit that winning three. What did you know? He says, he shrugged it off like, what y'all want me to say? He said, I'm gonna just tell y'all straight up. Yeah, he might have been defensive player of the year, but I know he's slower than me. I'm slow, but he's slower than me. He ain't quicker than me. So guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna fake him, and I'm gonna juke him, and I'm gonna give him that 1-2, and I'm gonna step back to my spot, and I got him. I already know he should basically say he should not be out here on me. But you are here. You are entered my space. I'm gonna light your ass up. And that's what he did. He took the 1-2, go bear, and then he like, game time, choke up. And so that's what it is. So, I mean, get back to the point, the writers are quite biased based on what they like, what they enjoy. They like certain things, even with the MVP. Like you said, it took a long time where white players were not getting MVP. Then all of a sudden we get this run of Steve Nash 2 in a row, getting 2 MVPs. And then also the Nowitzki from Dallas. And then, but I'll say the Denver guy, deservedly so, he's been consistent. I can see that. But other times, again, it comes down to the biases of the media, what they want and how they feel. And a lot of times it's not fair. Are they going to take it away from them? I doubt it. I doubt it. The same way we look in baseball. How the hell is Ken Griffey Jr. not a first ballot Hall of Fame? And how does he not be? How does he not get all the necessary first place votes? Name me a dude in his era that didn't freaking cheat that was that great. Are you serious? But then some little dude, he's no Babe Ruth. What? All right, I'm done.
I watched that game and I'm sitting there. I'm like, take Rudy Gobert out. For years, I've been saying Rudy Gobert is useless. Useless. How he keep getting the defensive player of the year and how he got it over the young man in San Antonio is beyond me because that dude had better stats than him this year as far as defense. But I was like at the game when I was watching the game and they did that and I'm like, oh man, he's gonna hit this three. They're gonna win this game. I'm like, this coach needs to be fired because, you know, you got an inexperienced team out there, and you're putting Rudy Gobert out there because Rudy Gobert likes to talk. Because he did this to Joker one time. He was like, you know, it was like in the fourth quarter, and he did this to Joker like, oh, I got him. And the Joker said, brother, I got 47 points. What do you mean you got me? So why they keep? And I think every player in the league has made Rudy Gobert dance to their tune. I mean, he's just out there, you know, just dancing like he's on skates, like he's doing ice skating in hockey. It's like, how do you put him on this guy who you know is going to shoot the three? Matter of fact, there was a player, they were watching the game. It was, I forget the player. It's one of Ice's favorite players. And he used to play for Chicago. He used to play for the Knicks. He predicted it. He said they're going to go to Luka. Luka's going to do a step back three. It was right during they were doing the podcast during the game, and they did the switch. And he just stepped back, hit the three, and it was like, man, did they give you the playbook? But everybody knew that if you got Rudy Gobert in there, you switch to him, and you got a smaller man on him, like Steph Curry or anybody, Dame Lillard, everybody's been toasted this guy, man. Everybody that he can't guard nobody. But I bet you he got in that huddle and said, you know what? Let me get him. They gave it to him, and he gave you a three and gave you another loss. And now it looks like, you know, the team, Minnesota, who just, you know, I mean, terrorized folks in the playoffs, it looked like they're just scratching their head going, what happened? When you could have had games to win. Take Rudy Gobert out the game, put somebody in that can play defense. Quit dealing with this mirage that Rudy Gobert is this great defensive player. He's not. And I'll say this again, and so somebody proves me wrong. He is useless out there as an NBA player. I don't care how tall he is. I don't care about stats. He's useless.
Yeah, he was useless in Utah, bro. He's more useless now. And it's ironic because I looked at the first game. And to me, this didn't get highlighted enough. It really did. The first game against the Mavs, 60 points in the paint. Think about that for a second. The Mavs, with Luka and Irvin, had 60 points in the paint. That young center they got, the rookie, he's down there by himself doing the electric slide till the ball comes to him. Nobody covers him. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. So I'm gonna go back at the sports writers. What did you see all year? These past 4 years that he's done on the defense side, I don't get it. What has he done? Because he gets toast by everyone. It's like he's a nice guy. People like that. You go along. Every now and then he does some idiotic. But it's like, no, and I hate to kind of say this, but I remember the Bulls days. You were basically, if you were hot 3 quarters, guess what? In the fourth quarter coming, you're going to look up, you're going to see Scottie Pippen on you, or you can see Michael, and guess what? They're going to shut you down. Gary Payton, shut you down. This was defense, not this run around like you ate a fork, flopping. When I look around the league, and I know you spoke with the young cat San Antonio, and I'm going to give him that. Who are the defensive players in the league, bro? You have few, maybe 1 or 2 pop up that play a quarter or two, but defense is basically a ghost when it comes to NBA. So, and to me, he proves it. He actually literally proves it. He's not sound on playing defense at all. And I'll wait to talk about the team wrestling when we talk about the NBA. But I just go to reports, like I said earlier. A lot of these cats, they go down to primetime shows, Fox, ESPN. I could throw names out there. Don't know what they're talking about. I threw one out earlier. Has no clue. I don't care who you hire, you put next to you. You're still dumb as nails. You don't make any sense. And that's why you got these boys up there. I swear, I'm telling you, I said this last time. I'm telling you, a reporter asked somebody, how did you feel? I don't give a fuck about what they felt when something was happening. Talk to me about the game. I'm not into your mentality, what you felt like. How did you feel before you took that shot? What, are you laying on the couch? You asking these questions? Stop it. Let's get serious about covering sports. Let's hire people that know what the hell they're talking about. Not a name, that know what they're talking about. Not the ooh and the ah, the ooh, the ah. I tell you this, Ernie, I'm tired of it. I'm tired. I'm just tired, big. I'm tired.
Yeah, let's roll right into the NBA. While you are hot and all lathered up, your eye test on the Eastern and Western Conference.
Right now, it's amazing. I look at Indiana, and I say to myself, you gotta be kidding me, man. And they kind of did the same thing last night. That game 1, you had that game sealed away, and then you treat the ball like it was a hot coal. Like you're ready to do a cookout in the court. Wait, can you do what? I don't want to do. Right, mentally, they're not mentally tough. They're not mentally tough. You had the game last night basically in your hands. You come down the court, you're drilling, no play, man, and no play. Just dribble, and you give it to Boston. And I'm not mad at Boston. I'm not mad. I like Kendrick Perkins, what he said. He said the leader of that team should be Brown. I believe I've been saying that for all along. Tatum to me has not proved to me, still has to prove to me. And watch him next round when they get to the finals, that he's the leader of that team. I just don't see it. So Indiana, like you said, they're not mentally tough, bro. And for whatever reason, either it's their coach or they're not listening to him because they just do some dumb things at good times. They just do. They can play well, but you put them into a pressure situation, they're gonna fold, man. They're gonna fold down. Now I'm gonna roll to Minneapolis, Dallas, man. I'm gonna start off this by saying Jason Kidd, man. He didn't win Coach of the Year. Jason Kidd has showed me, bro. I remember he was coaching back, I think it was New Jersey years ago. His coaching has grown. That cat has grown as a coach, man. What he's done with this team since the trading deadline, the way they play, where they move around, he's finally got them to buy into defense. Not saying they're great, but they play a good enough defense. And he's taught, whatever his name, I can't think of his name. He's taught them, you don't have to win the game, bro. It's not up to you. Pass the ball. When we need you, we'll come to you, but we don't always need you to go down there and hog the ball up. Same thing with Kyrie Irving. They understand this now. Let these young players eat. Let them be around. Let them move around. They're capable of supporting and carrying this team, and he's bought in, and you see it now. Minnesota, they're lost. And if you talk about crowning early, I love this cat, but you know what? They was crowning too early. Edwards, he's been crowned too early. The face of the league. He don't even want to take a shot right now. He don't want to take a shot. I don't hear about being tired. I don't hear none of that. He's 22 years old. He's not even looking. He drives the lane and kicks it out. He doesn't want to go inside and get hurt. He don't want that smoke. And it's because mentally he's not ready. And you look at, I know I said this years ago, what's the guy, Towns? When your coach basically yanked you out the second half, don't play you, what does that say about you? What does that say about you as a player? They're not mentally tough either, bro. That team is, I don't know how they beat Denver. I'm not giving Denver an excuse. I don't know how, but they stepped up. They got done with Denver. And Mike Conley has been playing out of his mind. If they didn't have the cat, the six-man, Neve, they wouldn't have been in game 2. He's been carrying them game 1 and 2. So you got this whole team that basically was number 1 in defense, did all this stuff. Now you're in the finals, the conference finals, and you can't show up. You can't show up. Mentally show up. You got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. So it's there. To me, you're going to look at Dallas and Boston. And I'm going to tell you right now, I know it's early because of coaching. I'll take Dallas all day, bro. I said to my son the other day, he wasn't sure about it. I'm going to tell you, the thing about Dallas I love, it's kind of a throwback. Dallas has finishers. If they keep the game close, they can finish the game. If you look around the league, there's not a lot of teams with finishers. Dallas has 2 good ones. There you go.
Yeah, I was looking at the game last night, and my boy Herb, shouts out to Herb, he watches the show every week. He texted me last night, and he's like, you see the clinic that Indianapolis is putting on Boston? And I got a feeling, because they were down by 18 at that time, I said, I got a feeling Boston going to win this game. And it's because the execution down the stretch. It's like Indiana can just run your tongues out for three quarters, but then they make bonehead decisions. I got to blame that on coaching because you got to call a timeout and get your guys. You got a young team. Siakam is playing his ass off. He has championship pedigree. He's been there before, and he just doesn't have a supporting cast. Even last night, you're right, they had that game, but they couldn't win, Ice. And then I look at the Dallas series with Minnesota. Dallas has made a lot of great adjustments against Minnesota. And in order for Dallas to keep rolling, Kyrie got to be Kyrie. He got to be Kyrie because they don't have an answer for him. And the young man, Anthony Edwards, be careful what you ask for. You said you wanted Kyrie. You got him. Now, you got to deal with him now. You got to deal with him.
Yeah, let's start because I really want to dive into that Minnesota Dallas. So let me go into Boston, Indiana. Indiana has played really solid basketball throughout so far. They've been a big surprise. They got past the injury plagued Knicks. But when you come to Boston, a lot of the nuances, like with the younger players, the coaching, and just the experience, because this Boston roster with a few additions, they've been around for a few years, right? And they've been through some challenges. And I think just the Indiana team alone is kind of finding out that you just can't come out and just be a hell of a fight athletic team and maybe match them athletically. You got to learn how to play basketball. And I think that's what their struggle is. It might be the same thing with their coach, with Carlisle, but so we'll see that there. But I think that they play real hard, Indiana, they play real well, but right near the end and when it gets tight in those very, very important moments, they falter. But you can't win one of them games out of three. Now you're down 3-0. As a coach, you'll make an adjustment. You'll put somebody over here, but something's wrong where you go, damn, we was this close. It was this. We can't get one of them up. We down 3-0. Now it's pretty much you do the math as far as the stats. It's a wrap. You think you're gonna be Boston 4 straight? I mean, this ain't the 70s. You might have had a shot 78. Somebody could make a run because a Bobby Dandridge went nuts and had 4 great games for the Washington Bullets, right? That type of shit. It ain't happening, bro. Not on this level. So it's sad that way, but it's a good, hopefully, learning experience for Indiana that they don't. Here's the thing. Please don't do anything stupid and try to revamp the roster, okay? Re-sign Siakam if he's a free agent. Re-sign him. Keep building. Give Tobin some money. Keep everything tight. There might be 1 or 2 changes that people go away, but keep what you have tight because it's a good nucleus. You just have to learn. Everybody has to pay their dues. You haven't learned yet. Diving into this Minnesota Dallas series, I'm just gonna say a few things. You know what? I'm not gonna say it. When it comes time to play damn basketball, I don't care about the horoscopes and all the other bullshit y'all talking about. That damn Kyrie Irving, and I love Edwards from Minnesota. He's a hell of a player. He's been shocking the world. He's been chopping it up, talking. I want Kyrie. Kyrie said, I heard that at my house. I was with my people.
Yeah, eating dinner with his family.
And you call with my family. I'm chilling with my family. So, but I want Kyrie. He was like, do you really want Kyrie? He's like, yeah, I want to get Kyrie. He said, all right. He said, no, we don't talk the game over here, young fella. We play the game. He said, I'm from Jersey, bro, for real. And I ain't mad at you. But you got a few more things to go now. Offensively, sure. Would it be hard for Kyrie to stop him? Yeah. But it's damn sure gonna be a problem with Kyrie. Kyrie got that thing. Like I said, his godfather is Rod Strickland. He got that yo-yo. He understands the game. And when he wants to take over, he can. The thing about him is, you watch the last game that they played, Kyrie had an opportunity where he missed the free throws. And I tell my nephew the same thing. He apologized to his dad for missing the free throws. There's no reason to miss no damn free throws in the clutch when you're that great. He apologized to his dad. He said, I'm going to be better. But the one thing he did, when they swung it back around and they were down 5 and he hit that 3 in the corner, that's a baller. You remove that madness out of your head, the mistake, you come back, get ready for the next moment. That next moment allowed them to open the door for Luka to get that shot at the end and win the game. See, ladies and gentlemen, younger people, that's basketball. That's chemistry. You play the game and you do what you got to do to make the concessions. So when you mess up, find a way to correct whatever you did to put your team in a position to win. That's what Dallas does. And Dallas, you think about it from the standpoint of Kyrie and Luka. I told y'all this. Right now, they're averaging 49 points a game in this series, man. 49, two dudes. Then you throwing Lively, right? You throwing the other dudes, Jones, Washington, Gafford. So, and so many others. They now like, when you see, here's the thing. When you see Luka do a shake move and normally he jump in the air and shoot the three, and he out of the corner of the eye, you see the guy wide open, hitting down low for the two-hand dunk. That's basketball. So he finally with a player in Kyrie, Luka I'm talking about, that appreciates and respects somebody else that has game just like him. So it's easier to play. They hug, and you ain't never seen Luka hugging nobody. He hugging him, oh yeah, we play cards together, we play dominoes. It's chemistry. It is chemistry. And as great as Minnesota is, Anthony Edwards is great, and they're trying to do what they got to do, but they're missing a couple of things. One thing for them they're missing is when you have the big fella Towns, you're only getting 18 points. We need more. You're the big dude, you're shooting them threes, everybody. But where else? They have 6 dudes right now in this series that are averaging double figures. Conley's averaging double figures. You give him all they got. He's an older guy. But you need these guys. If you're a superstar town, rise up. Rudy Gobert, you telling everybody how great you are. You get an opportunity, rise up. Rise up. You're not rising up. And guess what Luka and them are saying? Y'all don't want it? I'm like Tom Brady. I tell you everything. Damn it, we gonna take it. And we may not win the finals, but Kyrie, I've never seen him smile this much. I've never seen him this excited that, damn, I'm going to get a chance to go to the finals. Ain't no LeBron, ain't no Kevin Durant, all these other dudes at the crib, even Anthony Edwards. I'm here. And it's like, what y'all want me to do? I love it. Because he's still showing y'all that he cares. All them other crap I said about Kyrie, when it comes to the game, I just want to play.
Something he said after the game really got me. He said, when Luka doesn't have it, he said, I got you. And it's vice versa. And it's like they're feeding on each other. Like, hey, if your shot ain't working, don't worry about it. I got you until you get back on your feet. And that's the way they've been working it. And for the life of me, I'm trying to figure out why the coach didn't make adjustments on Al Horford hitting 7 threes. Now, you should have got on him when he hit the first 3. First 3, you know how we do on the court. You hit 1 3, okay, that's a lucky shot. You hit a second 3, okay, I got to pay attention. Third 3, you're going down. Old man, you're going down. There's no reason why a 38, 39-year-old Al Horford that gets like 23 points, 7 threes? Is it Michael Jordan now at 38, 39? You don't make no adjustment. Like, I guess we need to cover number 42. You need to cover them because he was bringing it back in the game. But the coach, that's why I said it's on the coaching in Indiana because y'all running in the fourth quarter like y'all behind by 18. And all you got to do is clock management. Get on the man that's shooting 7 threes. Get on. He's bringing it back in the game. Tatum not shooting. He's throwing the ball to Horford. He's throwing the ball to Horford. Dishing it out, and y'all didn't even cover him. And I kind of saw that at the end of the third quarter, beginning of the fourth quarter. I'm like, Boston gonna come back and win this game. All right, let's go to Major League Baseball with Ice Water. Your report, sir.
Yeah, Major League Baseball is picking up a little bit. We're living in the AL East. The Yankees lead that division, and Baltimore is in second place. Moving over to the Central, Cleveland is still up. If you can believe that, the Guardians up on Kansas City, who's in second place. Moving over to the AL West, Seattle is leading that division. They're up on Texas by 3 games. Houston is making their way up. They're only 3.5 back. We always talk about Houston. Where are they going? Are they struggling or whatever? And all of a sudden, they make that little move, moving forward, closer to the end as we get ready to the postseason. So they're making moves now. Moving over to the National League. In the East, Philadelphia is still playing good, solid baseball right now, followed by the Braves, who are in second. In the Central, Milwaukee is in first place. Milwaukee's kind of crept up there. But again, the Cubs, with the no-name squad, is still in second place. Go Cubs. I want the Cubs to win because I like small market teams that don't spend a lot of money. You don't know who they are, but they found ways to win. Cincinnati quit trading people before the deadline. Anyway, y'all didn't hear me say that. But moving on to the West, the Dodgers continue to lead that division with the money and everything and all that. And even when Ohtani is hurt or he's not playing well, getting over the scandal, they still find ways to win. It's like having an all-star team of some of the greatest legends or modern day baseball players that you played for. And you say, well, this dude ain't played all year. Well, you know what? He was on this championship team. They paid him, and all of a sudden he got hot because they found a way to play. That's what they do. San Francisco has made a huge return. They're in second place, about 5.5. So when you look at baseball and the things that are going on, just had to look at. There's some really definite signs of guys hitting milestones, and we still have to appreciate some of the guys that are making those milestones. And never again, I think the biggest thing baseball's falling out on is the fact that you need to continue to keep the history in front of people and remind them what made the game so great and the sacrifices. I know we always talk about Jackie Robinson, but there's so many other people that also paved the way prior to Jackie Robinson to make the game as great as it is today.
All right. I was talking to Pop yesterday. He's watching the Dodgers game, and he says Ohtani stinks and fire the manager. And I'm like, they're in first place, Pop. And Ohtani's hurt. He's coming off a schedule. He ain't happy. And he was
Pop,
like, remind me of the Cowboys. I'm like, oh, man, it's too early for this.
Hey, let me say something. Pop sound like a Yankees fan to me. Anyway, that sound familiar? I'm just saying, like father, like son. Sorry, Pop.
Blackthorn, the WNBA report.
You know, last week, man, when I gave a report, I spoke with Minnesota Lynx, and I said there's a team that basically lost some players, and for the most part, they don't have household name players now, but soon they will be. They took down the New York Liberty. The New York Liberty was on fire. They took down. They were playing very well. Here's a name that we basically haven't talked about in a while, Kalia Cooper. Remember her when she was in Chicago Sky a few years ago with Candace? They won the championship. Well, smeared in the skies in the rebuilding process, they traded her to the Phoenix Mercury. This young lady's been lighting up, man. She had 2 games back to back where she dropped through with 30 points. Now, whether I agree with this move or not, the WNBA is moving to Toronto and they're going to start playing in 2026. I mean, on some sides of it's a good move, but at the same time, we not basically have teams that are kind of really selling out now. I kind of question them just a little bit. Last night, I talked about this a little bit about the Aces in a sense when they beat the Fever. But what was interesting is that the Aces lost 1 game so far. And it's like somebody died. They really did. They was like, what's wrong with us? Well, what are we doing? You know, what happened? That's a sign of a true champion right there. A sign of a true champion. It's not like we lost, okay, we'll come back tomorrow. No. It's like they went in a grieving process. Well, last night, A'ja Wilson showed up, pumped in 29 points, 15 rebounds, and they beat the Fever by what, 19 points? This is interesting. I said this already. Clark only had 8 points. 8 points. Now, she was good on rebounds and assists, but she had 6 turnovers. But here's what I don't like, and no one talked about this, but when I heard so far, Homegirl was not available for the media. She's acting like a diva. When you win, I'm sure she was out there sucking on lollipops and everything else. So no, when you lose, stand out there. And I want to see someone say that about her. And first of all, it should be a dumb NBA. You're too young. You're not that good. You're not established to where you can go pout, young lady. Nah, everything about you ain't always be bright roses and sunshine. Take it with grace.
Yeah, I agree with that. And that's why I see some of that attitude she had in college is coming into the WNBA. And it's not going to be taken well in the WNBA, in my opinion. You know. Last second shot, Ice.
Yeah, my last second shot, I just saw something. You know, we have Facebook friends and whatnot. And not like I totally disagree with this person, but because they've been, it's a local basketball coach here. And I saw something that he put out there. And he mentioned that he's coached a lot more games than I have on a level. He mentioned that he thought that NBA scouts should be individuals who have played basketball on at least the college level, because then that way they can see if the person that they're watching has dog in them. And I'm like, I agree, I can see where it's coming from, but then they're gonna disagree, because I know a lot of people that play basketball, watch a lot of basketball. I think you can watch and be a scout. Coach, And also maybe in the front office, yeah. But a scout, I never played on that level, nowhere near it. But I know damn basketball. And I can watch after so many times telling you whether or not this person has the goof, whatever you need to move forward, have that dog in them to play on that next level and how they can fit in your squad. Not saying everybody can do it, but I don't think you need to be a former player to understand whether or not somebody got some dog in them, particularly as a scout. Because sometimes, and I love this guy, but sometimes some of the best damn coaches and some of the best damn scouts never played on that level. Ask Bobby Knight. Bobby Knight is supposed to be considered one of the greatest coaches of all time. He played on the championship team, national championship team with the Ohio State Buckeyes under Fred Taylor. But he never got a sniff of anything professional. But he's still considered one of the great coaches. So on this, coach, I love you, but I'm gonna agree, disagree. But you know more than I do. All good. That's why we had these conversations.
Black?
You know, Jamil Hill, I love her for so many different reasons, man. She's not basically on networks, but she said some things that needed to be said. And the other day she came out and said about Caitlin Clark, part of the reason why she's getting attention she's getting. I'm not going to focus on some of the things she said. I'm going to focus on one thing she said, because she's a straight woman. And I've been saying this for a long time, man. If you think about this, they talk about her and they always bring up her boyfriend. Why is that? Because the WNBA is predominantly LGBTQ, whatever you want to call it. And people don't want to turn in and see that. They don't want. It may not sound pretty, it may not sound right. But this is a last second shot. So my point in saying that is that America as a whole don't mind following her because she's not that. That's not to disagree with anybody's sexuality, but it is what it is when it comes down to marketing. When it comes down to making people feel comfortable. And that's one thing no one really talks about her, but it makes a difference on who's following her.
I'm going to keep mine short and sweet. Be yourself. Be who you are. Find your people and go live your life. That's it for me. And that's it for this show. We'll see you next week. Peace.